What's up, everybody? What's up? What's up? Ready to make that money this weekend. You know what I'm saying? Looking for the plays, identifying angles, scenarios, and variables. So we talking about our brethren in Ireland this weekend. Ireland's the place to be this week. It's the place to make some money. Now off the bat, I look at this card. We have crossroads fights. We have prospect building fights. We have go home, win or go home fights. One fight I'm gonna start with, I haven't seen a lot of people talk about, Gary Cully versus Reeves. Now, Gary Cully at one time was the hot prospect in Ireland. He was supposed to be the next up and coming guy out of our scene to make it to the big world level. And when I look at Gary Cully, he has been stopped, but more investigation. The guy who stopped Gary Cully is now serving a 5-year ban for taking steroids. Not only that, by Gary Cully, we look at his losses. Gary Cully has only lost to world level fighters. Gary Cully lost to Maxie Hughes, which was the IBO champ, and Jose Felix, even though he was caught on steroids, he got banned within 6 months of him stopping Gary Cully. He got caught for taking steroids. So look into that as you may. And one thing about Gary Cully, he's 6'2", and I think he was stupidly making 135. You can already see where I'm going. Now we look at Lee Reeves. Lee Reeves is a guy who he's been surviving on club level shows. He's fought around the world. He's fought on club level shows in Colombia. He's fought on club level shows in Canada. And he's never fought a fighter with any prestige whatsoever. This is his test. This is Lee Reeves' moment. This is his win or go home moment. He's 31. He's done nothing in the pros. He was on Team Ireland, but so was Gary Cully. Right now, I see Gary Cully money line all day. Lee Reeves has never fought anybody with a pulse. And my problem with Lee Reeves is he lost to a guy who finished his career 1-6. Lee Reeves, I don't know what the situation is, why he's been relegated to the club circuit. He's done nothing in the he fought a guy who's 0-14. All his stoppages are against guys with, I mean, he got a stoppage against a guy in Colombia who was 1-20. He lost to a Eastern European journeyman, Arthur Davydenko, out of Ukraine. He finished his career 2-5. He went the distance with a guy who's 2-63, and I think Gary Cully, man, money line all day. I think Gary Cully's going to show levels. I like that Gary Cully's at 149. He should have been made the move. What's a bad move to make? To be 6'2" and 35. I don't care what anybody says. That's not There's no way he was properly nutrition. He was starving himself. He was not. He was putting himself through hell to make 135. Had to be, no doubt. Because I remember watching a video of Gary Cully maybe 5 years ago, and all he was talking about was his weight. You know, so I like Gary Cully on the money line. Now we got Ben Fell. I think Ben Fell is this is a prospect building fight against, and you gotta also notice this is in Ireland, so they want Irish opponents. Craig O'Brien, the guy Ben O'Fell is fighting, he's 36. He's done absolutely nothing in the pros. I think he's there for the taking. I think Ben Fell will show levels. Yes, I think Ben Fell might get the stoppage. If you have those plays on your book, I would heavily lean the stoppage. Now, the guy I really like on this card, who I think has, see, the thing about the Irish fan base, especially when you're talking to boxing, the fan base is bigger than the talent pool. Yes, we've had champions come out of Ireland, no doubt about it. Do I think Zepeda and Roach go the distance? You know, yeah, I would take that to go the distance. Roach, he mainly go the distance, and Zepeda, his stoppages have really simmered off since he stepped up to world level. He has not gotten a world level stoppage. Zepeda, he has not stopped anybody at world level. He went the distance with Jojo Diaz. He went the distance with Renee Alvarado. He went the distance with Tevin Farmer. And they ask you this: do you believe Roach is more durable than Farmer? I believe he is. But I like Zepeda in that fight. Now going back to the Irish card, I like Roach and Barney Smith. However, this is the first fighter that Barney Smith has fought who has power. Reese Botti has stopped prospect before. So for me, honestly, I like no distance on that play, no distance. Like I'm going back, I like Stephen Cairns. He's fighting Seana Kelly. Seana Kelly is a nobody on the boxing scene in Ireland. Scenes like Ireland, similar to Puerto Rico, is that they having fight cards every week, and they're begging for one fighter to break out to the world level. I think Stephen Cairns will be one of those guys. I really like his game, and I like Stephen Cairns by stoppage. Now, the big fight in Ireland everybody's talking about, Lirry versus Mark Chamberlain. Right now, I like Chamberlain. And I understand that that's not popular. That's not a popular pick. I don't see too many people taking Chamberlain. But I have a lot of questions for Lirry. Is getting a main event slot in an arena because he stopped Maxie Hughes. Maxie Hughes started his career at 130, and it's like stopping Maxie. And first of all, how does Maxie Hughes starting at 130, and this was his first fight at 140? How does Maxie Hughes get into an IBO title fight? Like, first of all, I think I do put credence in the IBO title. I don't know how Lirry got this title. I don't know what he did to get it. I think Lirry is manufactured. Because I look at Lirry, he's underwhelmed before, and people thinking Lirry is going to stop Chamberlain. Lirry couldn't stop Liam Dillon coming up for 130. He couldn't stop Derek Foley. Derek Foley was in his mid to late 30s. And I've seen Lirry get pieced up, man, by European, low-level European fighters. Lirry first got on my radar when he went the distance with a African journeyman by the name of Emmanuel Mungadila. Now, in the fight against Mungadila, the odds had the over-under at 1.5, which means Pierce O'Leary was minus 1,000 get the stoppage. He couldn't stop him. Mark Chamberlain only loss is to a world title challenger. See, people talking about Josh Pelly, but Josh Pelly is the European title holder. He's legit. Josh Pelly is not a journeyman. Josh Pelly is a legit world level fighter. He was in the ring with Shakur. And since his loss, Josh Pelly has shined since the Shakur loss. He's looking good. So when people say Mark Chamberlain, and I honestly believe, Mark Chamberlain is 5'11" with a 72 reach. I don't know how the hell he made 135. Right? And my problem with Pierce O'Leary, if I look at his record, he's never fought a power puncher. He's never fought anybody. And Pierce O'Leary is not a good mover. So it's like Chamberlain has fought Chamberlain has stopped legit guys. He stopped Gavin Quinn, a British title holder. Okay. Mark Chamberlain has fought in Saudi Arabia. He fought on the Joshua Dubois card. Mark Chamberlain is not going to be him fighting in Ireland in an arena, sold out arena, is not going to bother Chamberlain. Chamberlain has been on high levels. If anything, I'm viewing Chamberlain saying that it's Chamberlain in his mind could laugh and say, y'all building up Leary as if he's this dangerous punch. His name is Big Bang, but Leary doesn't stop anybody. So I don't know how he's Big Bang. He doesn't stop all his stoppages against washed people. Nobody of note he stopped. And we look at, what's up, my guy John Magma? What's up, man? Yeah, man, just dropping these plays, man, trying to make some money. And my concern with O'Leary is that he's never fought. If I look at all his guys, his last, Chamberlain is 27. He's 26. This is a legit crossroads fight. And Chamberlain fought to a draw with Jack Rafferty, which I thought he won. But Jack Rafferty was a buzzsaw, right? Jack Rafferty was a buzzsaw on the British level. He was a British title holder, and Jack Rafferty was stopping everybody, was considered a boogeyman on the scene. And he didn't make a dent into Chamberlain. Chamberlain fought him extremely well. So, and be honest with you, if you would have put Pierce O'Leary in a ring with Jack Rafferty, Jack Rafferty would have been the favorite. And since that draw, Jack Rafferty stopped former British title holder, Echo Esserman. So I feel like Chamberlain is more battle tested. Chamberlain has power, has movement. Chamberlain was amateur British champion. Pierce O'Leary, yes, he was on Team Ireland, but I feel like making Team Ireland is not the same. I will hold making Team Ireland below winning the United Kingdom amateur boxing champion. You get what I'm saying? Because how many people in Ireland? It's like 5 million people in Ireland. It's like 50 million people in the United Kingdom. So, and Chamberlain was a champion. Chamberlain's going to have the reach. Chamberlain's going to be taller. He's going to be the bigger man. And people are telling me that Pierce O'Leary is going to outbox him. Pierce O'Leary is not a boxing guy. His name is Big Bang. That's what his game is. He likes to bang it out. And see, the problem with that is he's going to be fighting that Chamberlain has good movement. I like his feet. I like his combinations. Chamberlain has seen somebody like O'Leary. O'Leary has never seen nobody like Chamberlain. And I just think, Pierce O'Leary is getting hyped up for nothing. You know, I don't see. I don't. I've been since 2022. I thought he was a manufactured guy. You know, he's. I mean, he's been cut before. Go watch Pierce O'Leary versus Honivas Meritatusian, which was a Meritatusian was a 30-year-old low-level European fighter out of Belgium who who had Pierce O'Leary bruised up all across his face. Mark Chamberlain went to 12 rounds with a serious power punch in Jack Rafferty, and he came out just fine. Wasn't dropped, was never buckled in the fight, took all his best punches. So, I mean, people saying that he's going to outbox Chamberlain. I mean, to me, to be just keeping it 100, Mark Chamberlain is Pierce O'Leary's first real fight. And not only this, Pierce O'Leary has a lot of pressure on him. He's headlining in Ireland, right? Now that you headline in Ireland versus a young guy, never been stopped. And people are gonna say this the whole week, and they're gonna say it for the next couple of days. See, yes, Chamberlain, ever since Chamberlain's been at one. Well, you saying Pierce O'Leary went the distance with a journeyman. Pierce O'Leary has went the distance with journeyman. Pierce O'Leary went the distance with a guy who was 12 and 62. Pierce O'Leary went the distance with a guy who's 10 and 22. Pierce O'Leary went the distance with Liam Dillon. Liam Dillon is a guy with 3 knockouts. And at the time he fought him, he coming up from 130. I don't see the hype in Pierce O'Leary at all. And I think it's one of those moments, y'all, where we're gonna wake up on my time Sunday saying that, wow, look at the performance Chamberlain had. Nah. And to be real with you, I think Chamberlain can stop Pierce O'Leary. Pierce and Leary gonna be in for a shock this weekend. You know what I'm saying? I think I just think, man, it's like Pierce O'Leary has stopped people in the first round. And people are gonna say, well, who did he stop? Well, Pierce O'Leary was stopping journeyman. When Chamberlain fought a guy who was 10 and 16, no, my bad. When Chamberlain fought a guy who was 11 and 31, he stopped him in the first round. He stopped Jeff Furry. Solid journeyman. He stopped. He stopped Gavin Quinn in the fourth round. Gavin Quinn went the distance with Joe Cordina. Gavin Quinn has been, and since Gavin Quinn getting stopped, Gavin Quinn, Gavin Quinn has been beaten up on your British level prospects. Go watch Chamberlain versus Rafferty and tell me, do you think Rafferty would have fought to a draw with Chamberlain? No, with Pierce O'Leary. Pierce O'Leary would have got stopped versus Rafferty. Pierce O'Leary is just another manufactured Irish guy. The only reason he got in this main event fight, that's what the question I asked y'all. How did Pierce O'Leary get here? I know how Chamberlain got here. Former British title holder. He almost won the British super lightweight champion. So I know how Chamberlain got here. I don't know how Pierce O'Leary got here. That's my biggest question for all this. How did Pierce O'Leary get a IBO title, right? He got an IBO title by fighting a washed journeyman. I don't think this fight's going to be close. I think he's going to we've seen fighters in Ireland lose. It's gonna be close. I think even if Chamberlain he wins all rounds. I just don't me personally, and again, I just think about Pierce O'Leary. He fought to win the European title. He fought a guy coming up from 130 who was a journeyman. Like, how does he keep getting these layups? But I'm gonna tell y'all right now, look, hey, don't agree with me, but I'm gonna say this before I leave out. I'll be very, very cautious to put O'Leary on the parlay, y'all. Now, remember, boxing is a circus. It's a business, but it's a circus. Remember that. And times like this happen when we have a guy. I feel like this is Pierce O'Leary's first real 50-50 fight. It's his first 50-50 fight, and he's 25 in. Chamberlain has been in 50-50 fights, and he's came out. The only loss Chamberlain has is to a European title holder. And yes, Pierce O'Leary has won the European title, but again, I'm just looking at his record, man. Hey, be very cautious putting Pierce O'Leary on a parlay. I tell you, y'all, be very, very cautious. But all right, y'all. Right now, in it like this, I like Chamberlain on the money line. I like Roach and Barney Smith on the money line. I like Gary Cully on the money line. I like Steve Cairns on the money line, and I like Ben Fell on the money line. All right, y'all.